I see so many questions in Telegram group chats and everywhere about plant price and how many plants you need for X, Y, Z, etc., etc. I always link this calculator in the description, and so I will again, as well as Drip Viewer, which is another good one. Shows you your time until your next plant, etc. Both of these have a lot of this information. So if you're looking for the plant price, if you're looking for what your plants are worth at the moment in a dollar amount, not that that really matters again because you can't sell these. You don't sell plants, but it can kind of give you an idea of how your little investment there is growing. More what you're concerned about is this LP a day, and then how long it's taking you to grow a plant a day, which is going to compound into this. So really, this sheet, this calculator has all the information that you're probably asking about if you're curious. Here's how many plants I have. I have 56 plants. That's about that worth. You can see my seeds dropping and increasing here because every single plant produces 86.4 thousand seeds a day. And then we need 2,592,000 to make one plant. So if you were to multiply this by the number of your plants, you'll see how many you're making a day, which is already right here for you on this calculator, and I believe might be on the other. Yep, 1.867. And then here's your reward per day. It's also on this calculator, I should say. Although there's also kind of a calendar. This has a schedule for all of your next plantings as it can calculate that. If you add new capital and such, that'll change. But so really, this is what you're keeping an eye on. If you're in the garden, you want to make sure that this reward is increasing every day, and if you're compounding, it should be. Obviously, once you get to a good, comfortable kind of area there of reward per day, you might claim every now and then, but you want to keep your planting ratio higher than your harvesting. So what a lot of people have suggested is like a 5-2, maybe a 6-1 in the early days. Just replant throughout the day. I mean throughout the week. Just compound, and then pay yourself out on the weekends perhaps. Now for me that would only be hurting my goals towards where I'm trying to get because I'm still relatively low here. I mean this is cool if you want to pay yourself out like $20 on the weekend, but most of us would probably prefer to see a couple $100 on the weekend, or depending on how many plants you bought originally, how much capital you threw in. Maybe you're already at $1,000 on the weekend or something ridiculous, and you want to get your return on investment back quicker. Now, if you do want to do that, if you want to get your investment back sooner, that's understandable. Just know that the way a lot of these bonuses work and the way the up to 3%, the payout works here, if you're not getting referrals, up to I think 3% is where you'd be. The way that works is that there is logic in the code, as far as we're aware, because I haven't perused through it. I'm not the developer, but just from other people's testing with larger amounts, it seems like if you are harvesting too often, that you'll affect your older plants. Your older plants will start to like decay or not produce as much, is what the thought has been. So I don't have a way to really quantify that, being at such a lower level right now. So I would just recommend against that, keep your ratio high of compounding, even if you are trying to get back to your return on interest relatively quickly. Because this is a game, and it's almost a collective game where we all know that we can keep it going, that it can be sustainable, the more people that are playing quote-unquote correctly, where they're just compounding and building their balance, and then withdrawing, harvesting at a lower ratio to that. So that's where you can find a lot of those answers. I digress. I go off topic a little bit or on a bit of a tangent there, but this is where I would look. If you're looking for how many seeds you're about to lose, and yes, you do lose seeds if you plant early, If you catch it in between one plant and the next, this will tell you how many seeds you're about to forfeit. If you add new capital, that will also forfeit whatever seeds are in process. So if you have a plant that's ready to plant in an hour, you'll probably want to leave it and then add your like leave it, plant it, and then add your capital. Like that's what you'd want to do if you're buying fresh plants at this 580, because you're just getting impatient with the with the compounding. And if you're lower, I understand that. That's what I've done. I was at about 14 plants. I added 10 at one point, and I added another 10 or 11 just today. And so I understand that, wanting to see those daily rewards increase quicker, and it will. It'll compound quicker the more you can throw in here. But obviously, high-risk game. Supposed to be higher risk than the faucet, even by the dev's own words in the white paper, I believe. So still a high-risk play. You'll have to do whatever you want to do with your finances. This is not advice for you. But at least for me, I felt comfortable throwing those extra 11, 10. So I probably bought around 35, 36 plants, probably how many I actually bought. And that also helped me average out, because the first plants I bought were over $6, and the next set I bought were lower $5, and now we're back up to $5.80. So I'm kind of averaging within that $5 range to get my average out of that $6 range, which is where it was when I first started. And I just want to see this go up a little quicker. I'm a little impatient. I mean, the percentage returns end up being around the same. It's still going to take but you can get a return quicker on any of these the more you are putting in, obviously. So, and it's just fun to see. That's why it's a game. That's why it's kind of addicting. It's a lot of things anything that's a gamble, right? That you might make a good return on in a quick amount of time. You have to be completely honest with yourself that those types of things are addicting or intriguing. Like, it's something we're drawn to because, hey, you don't have to do anything. You're just strategizing. You're just, how much do I want to buy? How many do I want to harvest? How many do I want to rehydrate? If you're talking about the faucet, or plant here on the farm, the garden, and it's really a personal strategy. Just, that's the whole fun of the game. How do you want to do it? Anyone on here on YouTube at least will tell you that ratio. That's mostly how they're doing it. That they might just pay themselves out on the weekends, if they even have enough coming in on the daily reward that they would do that. And if they don't, then they're probably just compounding constantly like the rest of us. And again, this is fresh. This is only a couple months. And if you like the developer, if you like the other projects he's creating, that's Forex Shark, you like his history and where he's going, I mean, Drip is almost a year in, the faucet. So if it can last that long, by my understanding, we're about that far in, and this one's a couple months in, and he has other programs, protocols, contracts in the ecosystem here that are new. I mean, the farm's new. It's not even really up and going yet. And it looks like it's not wanting to let me click with the window size down like this. Let me give a refresh. But the farm's new, and these pools, the Pigpen's new. And then there's a new game coming out, the Piggy Bank, they're calling it, where we will take these pigs and slap them into some type of game. I don't know how that's fully going to work yet. So there's some exciting stuff coming out in this ecosystem still. And this isn't the only one I'm going to talk about. Low on free liquid capital myself to throw into other projects, which is why I'm just talking about this one constantly, because this is the one I'm growing. And once we start spreading around, we'll talk about some of the other projects. There are other exciting things from what appear to be good devs. Rex 2.0 is about to launch too, so there's some exciting things coming down the pipeline. And again, kind of ranting on here. If you're new to all of this, I'll throw referral links in the description. I always do. You do what you want with your money. Most of these are high-risk plays, except the drip faucet is, I mean, like I said, it's been almost going a year. All of these are still high risk. I mean, this whole thing could collapse, and the dev could turn out to be shady and take all of his money and go home. I mean, that's happened, but not with these ones that last a year or so that I've seen. And that may be my naive personal experience. If you know of any other projects I'm not thinking of that had this level of sustainability, or appearance of sustainability, that did fail and collapse, let me know. Set me straight on some of that. If you're not new, just like, subscribe. That's cool. If you are subscribing, this is my personal channel. So I'm doing that mainly because I'm not just shilling projects that I don't believe in, that I don't think are good to get into. And I mean, even though that's a personal choice, I'm doing that, and everyone knows that. I mean, even the official channels are not, hopefully, are not being completely dishonest and just shilling you every single project they see. I know some of them do, but at least the bigger names hopefully are not doing that as often. But that's another reason I'm doing this on my personal channel. So if you subscribe, you're going to see some goofy videos of me playing guitar now and then. You can go look through the history and find those awful attempts at me trying to rap when I was in a weird place in my life, and all sorts of things. Playing games. I like to stream when I get in the mood. I do a lot, and it all kind of goes there. So be ready for that if you do subscribe. It's not just this passive income thing. Or you can just follow this playlist. I'm going to keep adding videos to this playlist for passive income. If that's all you're interested in, bookmark that and just follow along and see. You're either going to witness me make a large amount of money, or you're going to witness me crash and burn and lose all my funds doing something crazy and stupid. So it could be interesting. It'll be a fun little journey that we're all on together. And if nobody watches, then I'll just be putting this out into the ether, into the internets, into the interwebs, to last for all eternity. And then in 20 years, I'll come back and watch it and praise it or chuckle at how much money I lost. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, just because you take time out of your day. And I know we're all trying to understand this together. This is kind of complicated when you first get in. I will admit that. When you first get here, what is the garden? What are plants? Like, even if you're familiar with crypto, I wasn't as familiar with these games and how some of these things work, and it was a little confusing. I was like, what's a plant? And then with the farm, you've got dogs and pigs and all sorts of things. It's like, if you're confused, I'd just start with the faucet. Faucet's easy. You swap into the token you need, you deposit it, and then you just let it grow, and you hydrate or claim it. Easy. And the garden's the next step, I think, because it's also so easy. It's just, deposit swap into the token, the LP that you need, and then just slap money in there to buy plants, and then you're on your way. Just compound or harvest, and that's the game. Just your own strategy there. So that's all pretty simple. I don't. If you're new, especially, I would ignore farms, pools, and the pig pen. But if you want to dive into that, I think there's a lot of potential there for the future. It's just not up and spinning high speed quite yet. And there's probably a reason for that. There's probably a master plan, and those who are already in might be greatly rewarded for holding out and staying in there. I just hopped out for now to focus on the garden. So I think that's the third rant after I said thanks for watching. But thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day.